You know more about number 5.
Fuck yeah, I do. I love Baccano. God damn it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little disappointed. Like, I'm a little surprised it's here, but I'm also a little disappointed it's not higher.
And it's at 5.
Yeah. So 11,000
If it's
people
gonna be here, why is it not higher?
have voted, and I mean, looking at the stuff that's above it, I can kind of understand. But Baccano is like, going back to like our whole discussion about binged versus week to week. I cannot imagine watching this show week to week. I would be so goddamn confused. It is very well done. And the storytelling seems erratic until you get towards the end of it, and you're like, okay, that's why all this stuff is jumping around, and where like the through lines come together. It's like you're looking at a puzzle that's not complete, but you're watching someone slowly complete it. Which is, I'm sure I could have thought of a better metaphor for that, but and this is why you hear people talk about Baccano when the people talk about Baccano, it's like all the praise in the world. Right. But it's kind of like Hunter x Hunter, if those who haven't watched it have no interest in it almost. And for Baccano, I think it's maybe because, it wasn't a big deal when it came out, and it wasn't super hardly pushed, but it's something that, like, when the people who talk about it and like kind of recommend it, because I've run into this myself. When anyone asks what is it about, there's no goddamn explanation, because like the way the story is told, like even the little snippet here, a crazy fantasy caper involving alchemists, immortals, gangsters, outlaws, elixir of immortality spread over several decades. Sure. But I mean, that's not like it's so I mean, I guess they kind of put it in the correct order, at least, because the alchemists lead into the immortals, who eventually turn into gangsters and outlaws, and then the gangsters and outlaws fight over this immortality elixir. But you really don't get any of that for like half of the series. Half of the series is like these events on a train and the events of the characters that led them to the train. And then all that other shit starts coming up, and there's like this whole gangster subplot of people who aren't on the train but know people who are on the train, and it's, if you binge it, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a little hard to binge sometimes because you're just so confused. You're like, how do any of these stories tie together at all? Because like it says, it's more than several decades. I'll go ahead and tell you that now.
It spans very long.
The whole alchemist situation is like Mayflower bullshit. Like, you're not jumping Mayflower to the 1920s, 1930s in a few decades. And there's this whole big kind of mystery behind it and stuff that kind of ruins a little bit. But yeah, you just have to, like, I hate to say that because it doesn't do this thing service, but you kind of have to have a little faith to get to like episode 6 to be like, okay, I can kind of see some of this coming together a little bit.
Yeah.
But in terms of, and the kind of spiritual successor to this, which doesn't do it as well in my opinion, is 91 Days. It's the same writer, I think, or same creator, which is also a gangster thing, but it's not like this crazy. And I think this is a good balance of having a very good feeling gangster, like Italian mafia style thing happen with some decent voice acting and a reasonable voice acting for Italian mafia in Brooklyn or Chicago, wherever the fuck they are, and kind of balancing goofy. Like it has its moments that you're like, oh shit, but it's serious. Like it has its lighthearted moments. It's mostly lighthearted and funny. And you get through the series, and it's a good, comfortable, pleasing experience. 91 Days goes so dark, and you're like, oh my god. Like, this feels like The Sopranos. Like, you went from watching the good, fun parts of Goodfellas to watching the dark parts of The Sopranos. But yeah, Baccano is good. You can search it on Amazon, which means you're not going to find it streaming. You have to probably buy a physical copy or a digital copy. But yeah, I mean, if you're wanting something different that is pretty much anyone who's watched it recommends it highly, Baccano is a good one to go with. I think I
agree.
I own the DVDs, and it's one of the few things I actually own the physical novel for.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah, the hardbacks look nice. I was like, I like Baccano, so I bought them. I have not read them. I'm not gonna lie, but I own them, which is a step that I usually don't take. So